I hope your story is there to highlight if you are someone with no horse experience and you have you are the best person to take a wild Mustang, because you will actually listen and let the Mustang be in charge. and it will be this incredibly expansive, huge transformational journey.
Yeah.
I am so happy to be chatting with Kasia Kynes, who by day is an Epstein-Barr Virus doctor, and for the rest of her day is a horse listener. So, Kasia, I'm super excited I want to start by you telling us, let's go back to the beginning of your horse journey. How old were you when you first got the idea or the vision or the dream, and tell us how that happened about you getting together with some horses?
Well, what I have learned since, and especially in the recent 2 years, is that when you have this experience, it's past life. There's just so many lives. And so, because there's no reason, I grew up in a coastal 40,000 people town on the Baltic Sea, beautiful, pristine, pearl of Poland, and no horses around. It's like there's no parents, nothing. There was nothing, no. But you could lock me in a room and I would draw horses for hours. In fact, I think my mother finally threw them away. I had all these horses. And so I never, like, for many years, I didn't know I had spiritual guide. I didn't know. It was always following whatever was just coming up. I didn't think about it. I didn't analyze. I didn't know why. And so I actually, it wasn't about riding though, but there was a village a couple of miles away, and they had a few horses, a small place, a few horses, and people could learn to ride. And I walked in the field from my town to that. I didn't tell my parents, I think, because and eventually twisted their arms. So my father took me to that place, and I sat on a horse and I rode a horse, and then I brushed that horse, and the hell broke loose. I was so allergic. I was like taking scissors and scratching my, it was awful. I just couldn't even. I was maybe 12, 11, 10. I have very few memories, but at this point in Poland, what did I know? So I counted 40 plus years, never came close to a horse. It was like completely erased from memory. My
Wow.
life took a different path. And then I've been in a holistic business school for many years. I have a spiritual mentor. So my business is really anchored in that. So I've had a lot of support from that and learned a lot. And so in those meditations, I started to see a horse. Couldn't figure out, wasn't black, wasn't white, patchy, never rode her. She was on the beach. We walked and we talked, and I had no idea what it was. Um, and but I knew I had to move back to Seattle area with my husband. Then husband, he was really sick. And so we were in Maryland at that point. And we lived there for what, 11, 12 years. There was a furniture store above. We walked there millions of times, and we were packing to move. And I had to go into that store for no reason. I was like, I have to go. Let's go upstairs. And I would have to show you. There's a humongous painting, watercolor of a horse, like a part of a
Yes.
horse. And I couldn't leave the store. There was no. I don't have paintings. I'm not into that collections or stuff. But I walked around. It was chipped. It was on sale. They told me it was the last one. They gave me a better deal, and they wrapped it this thick. So I didn't see it for half a year. But we had to put it in pause, and before we moved and found a home, on the West Coast. But I took a picture of it and put it on my laptop screenshot, like screensaver. That was something I had no idea. And then other visions in my training with Shelley, when we would breathe, deep breathing exercises, I saw orcas a lot.
Mm.
And when we moved to back to Seattle, and my husband always was always into whatever you need, let's go. So I thought I needed to see those orcas. I needed to connect with them. I didn't understand, but I thought Orcas Island is where they go. So we went there once, and it was like the moment you put your feet on the ground, you felt the magic, like, oh. So then we looked for rentals, and we ended up couldn't find a single thing on Orcas Island. We went there for a weekend, stayed there, it was beautiful. But this is not where orcas come. They come to Friday Harbor.
Ah.
And I had another vision of a house, and it was very similar to what we rented. There was only one. My husband found it. It was amazing. And it was on the highest mount of the island. And it overlooked, if you just threw a stone for far enough, you would hit uh, the shore, a very rocky shore with a very deep kind of ravine under the water where salmon come to feed. And that's a favorite spot where people from all over the world come sit on the rocks and wait for the whales. So I had an opportunity to live there for a few years and sit and brush against them and so on. There's another vision I have now where there's a small herd of horses standing on the shore and waiting for the orcas. I don't know what it is yet. Like you have elephants, I know, and you're like, there's something calling. I don't have to know yet. But I know that, these things.
I'm gonna
Uh,
I'm gonna jump in and interrupt you because you've referred to I felt I should go into the store. I had a
yes.
vision. Can you explain to people how that works for you? What does that mean when you say I had a vision? How does that happen?
Well, when I went to the store, I didn't have a vision. I just um. The strange thing about me, and I don't know, maybe I'm lucky, is if you can't advise me not to do something that I have a concept that I need to do, and I don't have to understand. I just needed to go into that store just
Where
to
does
look.
that come from? Where do you feel that in your body?
At that point, now I can kind of see the connection, but at that point, was just in the moment.
Was it just an
You
idea? Did it just feel like an idea? Or was
It
it
feels
different
like
from a thought?
we just knew, like, let's just go. It's like it's the way we found our kitty, who has been with me for 18 years now and is a complete Zen master. Let's turn to that street. Let's just do it. It's just, yeah, there's no reason. There's nothing.
Is it a voice? Is it
No, I don't have voices. So it's like I just have what is it, clairvoyance? The kind of knowing that you need to go there. So I just
yeah.
don't say no. I feel like
Is
my job is not to say no. If there's something there, I just don't say no.
so how and I know this is very
Lean
hard what I'm
in,
trying to get you to
leaning in.
articulate, but
Mhm.
can you can you tell us how do you distinguish between a thought, an idea, and that knowing?
Thought is analytical. Like, well, why would I go to a furniture store? It doesn't make sense. We're packing. We have too much stuff. Uh, my then husband collected too much stuff. So it wasn't, I think it's for the joy. There's something that speaks, it's going to be joyful. There's something magical, something good. Like
Hmm.
you just want to do it because you follow your bliss. It
Ah,
feels good that you want to go. And sometimes just looking at beautiful things and brushing against something is something that you're supposed to brush against to get you into a different space.
yeah.
You never know. I just don't want to say no.
I love it. I
These
love
these
that.
days I do, but at that point I wasn't really thinking. It's like, let's just go.
Okay, wait, I'm gonna have to digress again. You said these days I will say no. Tell me about that.
No, no, these days I know better. These days I
Oh,
know it's not just me. I have my spirit guides. I will keep learning
okay.
about more of them. And I have my horse spirit guide. That's another story. So these days I know I'm not alone and I'm not just making these decisions out of vacuum. There's like this is a soul's journey.
Okay. Now tell us about the vision. Where did the vision come from or how did that happen?
I was on the island already and I cook. So, I'm a nutritionist. So I have all these food scraps. And in Seattle, the city would take it if you couldn't compost it or so. But I didn't know what to do with it on a property. I couldn't compost, blah, blah. So in the local Facebook community, I asked, what do I do? And it's like, I always know if a couple of people say something, one you can ignore. I think three people said, well, there's Julie at the Island Haven. She has a composter. It's like, oh. So I went online. Ah, I went online and I see it's horses. It's like, oh, I have no concept of horse sanctuary. I have no background. There's like all these years, nothing, no opportunities, nothing. I'm white blank space. And you could pay $50 a month and kind of sponsor one horse. So I'm already in my spiritual program. It's like, okay, guys, I'll do one. This is magical. I'll do one. Which one? And sister jumps up. Just that's their sister. That was it. I paid. And I emailed Julie from the website. She emailed me immediately, and I visited on Sunday. It was August, beautiful sunny day in Pacific Northwest. That's like heaven, right? In
Yeah.
August.
So wait, the horse's name was Sister?
Yes.
Okay.
I had no idea. I just went with like, okay, decision made. Decision had been made. I later realized that the horse that I had seen in the breathing exercises was Sister
Ah.
before I even met her. I didn't understand, but Sister was the one that was in most pain. This was the horse that had so much arthritis she couldn't sleep lying. She couldn't lie down.
Mm.
When I heard so and Julie was the first horse woman that just stole my heart. She's just amazing. And so she says, "Well, this is the composter, we took some pictures together and we're still friends and like, she's so special. Taught me so much." This woman just opened the gate and says, "Here's sister." And it's like, what do? I just walk myself in? Yeah, yeah, here she is. And I see this horse. Her eyes are so tired. Her mane is so disheveled. She's so exhausted. And my heart bleeds immediately. I just want to hug her. And so I just never stopped coming. And Julie like was so trusting of me being there, even if she was not there and volunteers were not there. And I used my intuition. I didn't know, Julie taught me a little bit and just her faith in me. And I was there for sister, and these were just her last months.
Mm.
And a few weeks before Christmas, we threw her a apple party. Julie took her on a walk to say goodbye to her sister and brother, horses that she used to be with when she could still run. And it was magical, she mentored so many, and I have it on video. It was just so. I have a very dear friend, like a soul sister, for years, who is a professional telepathic animal communicator, and she's been with me for years. And so she was helping me understand sister and my relationship and what we were doing together. And so what I learned from her was that on a spiritual journey, she was supposed to reach like master level of in her soul journey, but she reached PhD. There was nowhere else to go. So she was not coming back. She was pure love. She lost her stripes. She was all white and she had wings. That's what I was told. And
Mm.
on top of that, she was assigned as my guardian angel. And she's always with me.
Question. When you saw her for the first time, it had been 40 years since your severe allergic reaction.
Correct.
What happened to you physically?
Correct. Correct. I can't make it up. I did not have allergy to her.
Mm.
So when she transitioned and I kept coming weekly, there was a herd of 4 horses together. They lived together. That's another story. They just free on their big pasture. And I had to wear gloves. I had to be careful. She was the only one because she didn't roll, she didn't sweat that much. She was, yeah. I could touch her. I could brush her.
So you were still allergic to the other horses, but not to her.
Mhm.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it. Okay,
Yeah,
keep going.
but then I met a fabulous naturopathic doctor who lives there. Amazing, amazing. And I was put on allergy drops. No gloves, no sniffles. 4 years later.
Homeopathic allergy drops?
No, it's just allergy drops. Um, you just take three, and there's a doctor that makes them. It's a prescription. You have to have a doctor, but I also have severe allergies to mold, and that was very helpful. But
Okay.
anyway, I remember the first day when my husband and I decided to come back for the herd of four because I made friends with them. I always visited them too, gave them some apples, hung around, jumped the fence, hung around with you, like with them. Just I didn't understand halters or ropes, or I never, that's not me. It was just me and the horses.
Hmm.
And Julie was so open. There was one particular empathetic horse there, which just blows my mind. And I was seeing her. She was in a lot of pain. It was incredible. So but the first day when we decided to come back, their pasture where they lived was parallel to the dirt road you have to take to get there. Like you have to get there and around and there. And so they were like standing in the pasture in the further corner. We take a corner and start driving. I roll down the window and I call them. That's something you never forget. And these horses look at me and gallop I gallop all four and gallop all the way to the gate, meet me there. By the time we arrive, they're already standing there. It's like in the corner, like, she's coming for us. She didn't leave because of sister. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Goosebumps.
bless.
That was amazing. That was the moment. And so I continued coming with them, and and then um and then I had to move. It's mold. We had to move a lot because of mold, and so I moved here to where I am on Kitsap Peninsula because it was a mold-free house, except the mold inspector missed it, so I still had to remediate. That's a different story.
Yeah.
And And so I was looking, I miss those horses. And sometimes when I visit, of course, I visit them and Julie, and we connect. Julie taught me a lot about self-selection of herbs, self-selection, Carolyn and Graham. I have like 60 essential oils. I have a head book, it's like all this journey, like little steps on the
Hmm.
way. But I didn't have a concept. I just wanted to volunteer again. And so I found a rescue place here in town, and they don't have their address listed, just PO box. Couldn't reach them, couldn't synchronize with the owner, could go somewhere else, but I had to go there. And so I finally made a connection. I visited, got the address, and they're walking me, here's this, and here's Beauty, the Mustang. The most challenging horse. She's still like she can't be touched. She bites other horses. She's on her own. She was rescued one day before slaughter. She was pregnant. She had
Mm.
a baby, and the baby had been adopted, so she was there maybe 2 years at that point. Um, and once I saw that horse, the whole purpose of me there was right there in my. I didn't question. I didn't ask. I didn't think about it. I didn't analyze it. I just started to come and. Just to because I had the same feeling I had to sister. I had so much compassion and sadness for her because she was still a wild feral horse, and she didn't respond to anything. They didn't, couldn't train. And there was a woman that had adopted her. I didn't know. I was there afternoon, she was morning, so it was months before I even met her. So I didn't understand politics and all that. I just would come regularly a few times a week, and her paddock was like dirt. It was summer, June, And it was the same month I filed for divorce.
Hmm.
I don't know who helped whom. But then when I really tracked it down, she was adopted. She was rescued 2 weeks after sister's passing.
Hmm.
And the owner was adopting somebody, a different horse. But my understanding is that she was talking to that person. That horse is no longer available. Do you want this?
Hmm.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
Hmm.
But years later, Lynn was teaching an advanced telepathic communication class. And in class, she took us in a deep state of meditation. And I visited Akashic Records first time in my life.
Hmm.
And I could not make it up because when I came back, tears were like running
Hmm.
on my throat, all over me. I knew my name. I knew the year. I knew the country. I knew my age. I knew that I had a black horse. I knew her name. And I saw a moment when she was in a pulling a cart. She stopped. She broke her leg, and they're going to shoot her. And I saw the moment when I told her, "I'll find you in another life."
Hmm.
There's no way. 1832. There's no way I could have made it up. I
Hmm.
don't know where it came from. I had never had experience like that. And so the only thing I asked Lynn is, does she know? And she says, I still don't know the answer now if it's changed, but she says, the horse doesn't, the soul does.
Yeah. Yeah. There's the horse self and then there's the spiritual self.
Mhm.
And that's part of what's really challenging for those of us who come to horses in this way and who are willing to be in relationship with horses this way is that we have to have one foot in each. So, like, especially if you're asking the horse to do something difficult, you have to be fully supporting their physical,
Yeah.
instinct driven, primal horse self
Yeah.
while
They're still a horse.
dialoguing,
Yeah.
holding space, and interfacing with the
Yeah.
spirit self of the horse.
Yeah.
And it's really a course, it's a place of mastery because to be able to hold those both simultaneously in third dimension
Uh,
is as you understand quite
I don't even
challenging.
know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. That sounds like mastery. I don't know. But it's like the intuition. The moment I saw her, I walked around the perimeter and grabbed a little bit of grass and offered it to her. And she came. She was so starved for a relationship. And people all over there are sitting, on the deck and looking. And within the first 2 or 3 days, a couple of people told me, What are you doing? She doesn't like people. She doesn't respond to people. Like, what? She's connected to you. How did you do it? It's like, I don't know.
Hmm.
I had no previous experience except Friday Harbor. And it was wonderful that I had the opportunity to just keep coming and helping her. And eventually I would just sit on the ground. I was never afraid of her. Uh, so it was over 4 years ago. She's never kicked me. She's never reared at me. She's never bitten me. She bites other horses, but there was a lot of politics because she was adopted, and I eventually I was in the way because I didn't understand all this, and then a long story short, the woman that adopted her is a wonderful, wonderful soul, and we have a good connection. We did some healing together, and she let her go out of circumstances. She had to let her go, and I just never gave up, and. There she was. Initially, I adopted another horse, Jessie, and because the Beauty was adopted, and I was out of question, and I was like, I was depressed for a while because there was just some situations, politics, but it's all good. And Jessie was the one that insisted on bringing Beauty back into being a horse in her body.
Hmm.
Beauty had no concept. She was completely dysregulated, shut down. She just didn't get it. She just didn't acclimate it. She didn't continue her life in
Hmm.
captivity. They said they've never had a horse like that. They rescue them all the time. and it seemed like I was the person, and the other person too, but she was not as available as I was, I guess. And so eventually, it looks like she's a one-person horse,
Hmm.
and oh boy,
What color is Beauty?
black.
Mm, yeah.
And she has sweet itch, maybe. She has skin issues, and I do too from mold. So it was like, it's interesting.
Hmm. Hmm.
She's itching. She would beg me to scratch her. I could go into her rectum. I could go into her nipples, you name it. She was untouchable. I can touch her anywhere. If she like, just do it. Just scratch me here, scratch me there. And I know what itching feels like because I have severe itching burning if I have mold exposure. I look like a lizard.
Mm.
So, there's like, there's so many things.
Hmm.
Um, and so I watched Jessie reach over, the little tape fence. And I watched Beauty being groomed first time since she had been rescued, which was probably 2.5 years, because she was like, but
Yeah.
Jessie would just not budge. Jessie has one eye. She lost one eye. She would just stick her bum. It was like, okay, Beauty, ground yourself. I know because about a month into meeting Beauty, I joined Horse Speak Club and then Horse Speak Academy. It's Pebbles. It's precise equine body language skills. My relationship with Beauty was based on her language.
Hmm.
It's like, it's like body language.
That's is it Sharon Wilsey?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Incredible. This formed my friendship. And so my hands are not confusing. My energy is not confusing. I
Yeah.
understand her concerns. I understand her questions. I know how I can ask her question using my body like a horse to horse would do.
Yeah, I love her work.
It's like sign language. Oh, I am very active. We just had our weekly call just
Hmm.
before, and I actually shared about you. So they were very excited.
Awesome.
Um, so
Can
yeah,
I
they've been,
also ask, are you free to share the name of your friend who does the um, psychic telepathy animal communication?
yeah, absolutely. She is amazing, amazing. Soul of Sarah's Lynn Schuster. So their website is animalspirittalker.com.
Animalspirittalker.com. Okay.
Most gentle. She's been with my animals always, like, yeah, for years now.
That's
She's
great
like
because
my
I'm
big
always
sister.
looking for people to refer people onto. So, yeah. Awesome.
She's like, oh, she's beautiful.
Okay. So you've got two horses, but they're living at the sanctuary.
Yes, and then
Are
so
you
that
the legal owner or are you adopting, like sponsoring them?
no, so with Jessie, basically, I was so amazed by Jessie, and I always had a connection, and she was very intriguing. She's so unusual, and Tony was the owner was saying, you have such a good connection with. By the way, there's a lady that is thinking about adopting a horse, and I was thinking about Jessie for her. I just wanted to ask you. She knew what she was doing, and before I could even conceptualize, like, no, I'll adopt her. I was
Yeah.
like, what did I just say? I have no clue what it means. Never had a horse. And when I adopted her on my birthday, which was like Sunday was, yes, our third anniversary with Jessie. When I adopted her on this day, I talked to her about it. I told her, we made selfie photos, and she can be feisty and doesn't like to be sometimes touched. And she literally posed, let me kiss her on the muzzle as many times as I was shooting. I didn't even know if it would show. When I was done, she was done, but she was like very intentional. Yes, let's do a selfie. Let's celebrate. Yes, kiss me on my muzzle. That's fine. Let's do this. Just uncanny. And so I had to have those two. So Sharon was instrumental because from day one almost, I would do like 2-3 minute videos and say, what do you say? What is Beauty saying? And I was being trained on my body language and conversations. So
Right.
our relationship was making sense to her because I was as close to other horses as she could talk to. Humans, I think, confuse her. Now
Yeah.
that I work with Sharon, I understand why. We are very confusing and inconsistent and in our head and all that. So I sent her so many videos. In the first year, she was instrumental in me building a sound, wonderful relationship with Beauty.
Hmm.
And I think because of that, I may be able to become her own farrier. I'm just
Wow.
studying. I'm just saying, I'm studying hoof pathology. I have amazing people in my life encouraging me. On my birthday, I was invited to a friend who has been trimming her own horses for 18 years. Amazing, like young mom.
Yeah.
And we were right there. She let me clean the hooves, and then I watched how she was trimming, explaining it. It was just amazing. So, and she says, Beauty, you'll be, and I think I may. I have to learn all this. I'm still learning to pick hoofs, believe it or not, because
Hmm.
my girls have all kinds of problems with them. So anyway,
Will Beauty let you pick up her hoof?
yes, she does.
Wow, that's amazing.
Does. So if she sits down because she's tired of the bugs, the little bugs, she will ask me to scratch her on the udders, or somewhere. So the first time when she was lying or sitting, she asked me that's like, you want me to walk right in the middle of your hoofs and legs? And then how do I even, what if you spoke? I mean, this is like, do you want me to lean over and scratch you? It's like, yes. First time I was like, okay. And we do that all the time now.
That's awesome.
Um, so yes, she is now, we're in a process with my friend. So she is, I'm still awkward, but with Beauty, what helps her is if we have a deal that we're counting. I'm still working on the halter because it was like, there's a long story.
Hmm.
But the counting is she needs to understand why, the purpose, how long, what we're
Hmm.
doing.
Hmm.
And so she knows I will tell her. And so it's very interesting.
Very cool.
So yeah, so Jesse was instrumental, and Sharon will analyze those videos like she can't even like get her off me. I can't stand it. I can't even process. I don't know who I am. And Jesse's like, stand with your 4 feet, go square. You can do this. I'm not going. It's like, she's looking at me. Can you move her? Like, I'm just filming Beauty, you and Jesse. And so this process is right now, Jesse loves Beauty. She says, Beauty is my job. I love my job. She's like her shadow. Beauty can abuse her, bite her, move her. You will never ever see Jessie move her off the ball. Like that will never happen. Like she will gently go, "Can I eat with you, Beauty?" No, okay, okay. But can I eat with you? Okay, I'll eat with you. So they are best friends, and that's priceless.
Yeah.
And then, so that was the same year. So May I adopted Jessie, and by August, Tony said, "Look, uh, and the funny story is, I love the lady that adopted her before. And I remember she said that she's gonna have to relinquish her. And so I wrote a business plan for Beauty, and I gave it to the owner. And then 3 days, and I'm not hearing her. She was just busy. I was like, I don't know what it means. What's gonna happen to Beauty? And I finally approach and it's like, look, tell me, what is it gonna be? And she looks at, she's a tough, like wonderful, tough lady, It's like, honestly, I was like, oh, you're the best thing that ever happened to her.
Aw.
So, so that happened, and then previously November, there was Sugar, a horse that I helped, contributed a little bit, and I was at I drove with them to greet her, to put her in, switch trailers. And so she always thought that I would help Sugar heal for some reason. And she was right, because Sugar is the third horse, and I adopted her that Christmas Day.
Mm.
And then my prerogative was to, um, Beauty was still isolated inside. Sugar and Jessie were in the outside paddock, and she had a little enclosure inside. It was not safe, so I started to open the gate a little bit for dinner to share hay, and they were like, I cautiously cautiously because she could bite, she could like strike. And so it was a process, a couple of months and just getting it in. And now they are ahead, for better or worse. I understand these are like three roommates. Sugar is very stressed by Jesse. So I'm trying to navigate that. So it's a journey,
Yeah.
but I hopefully they will become a family. And so yeah, so that's what happened. And then I changed from just being a volunteer and enjoying horse speak and working with Sharon and learning to now not having time for it, to build my skills. And then Beauty really got sick. And then there was, I had to I had to step in and grow and change and become a better horse person.
Mm.
And Beauty like shoveled it in my face. She
Mm-hmm.
was failing. And so I had to pull the hay because that was the last, at one point, that was the last thing I did not control. It was the hay that everybody was eating, which was alfalfa. And so I had to get on the education and understand what that was. And I think it was high ammonia, high protein, and allergy to alfalfa. Because it's like a wild horse, there's scarcity of food. And here is like Big Mac 3 times a day or twice a day. It's too much protein. It's
Well,
a long story, long
also,
story.
also most of the alfalfa in the United States is sprayed with a drying agent
Oof.
and often with glyphosate. It's really, really hard. You have to know the farmer yourself. You
Yeah,
have to,
yeah.
because they'll tell you, no, it's fine, but they're not telling
Yeah,
you the
yeah, yeah.
truth.
It's just because something is common doesn't mean that it's right. Yeah. Well, I didn't know I had control, but right now I have to tell you my car can handle 16 bales. I
Your
found the best
car.
supplier locally, a wonderful horsewoman who has testing on her hay. Now she has one hay that is organic. People are absolutely not interested in it. We had that conversation, it's the same price, and so that's what I researched from her. So I drive there every 2 3 weeks and then put it in the garage, and I have three IKEA bags, the blue ones, so I could carry it. And it says like I have a couple of the big plastic bowls, the black ones for water that I have slow feeding nets on. When we have muddy season, which you are very familiar with, I have one, two, three, four, five, six hanging bags.
Yeah.
I have 100 mud grits that I
Mm.
put strategically, so it really helped them last season.
So you like the mud grids. You're happy with them?
Fantastic,
Excellent. That's good to know.
fantastic, fantastic. And you would see them parking on it and congregate and having a party. I had to be very strategic. So I'm very
What did
blessed.
that cost you for 100 of them? Do you remember?
3,000 almost.
Okay. So that's still for three horses, that's about the same price, if not a little cheaper, than putting down the whole gravel rock footing, which has to be redone and topped up every year.
You know what? There is soft hooves or easy hooves. There is a woman in Snohomish in Washington that has a different grid that you don't have to maintain. They put some gravel. It's a little different. They set it up. So I think I would invest in that in future. But the grids, you can get them cheaper, I think. They are heavy. They're 15 pounds one. So I had to carry them one at a time and figure it out. But they were a saving
So
grace.
you're trying to you're horse keeping at this other person's facility
Mhm.
where you're just having to make do with what you can. Like you're super labor intensive right now
Yeah.
because you can't set up your own systems.
Yes, I have 3 4 hours a day, and I go there 7 days a week. I also have supplements. I am finishing. I don't know if you're familiar, Alicia Edwards. You must be. She's Canadian. She
Mm.
has Holding Horses Their Way. So it's a phenomenal program, tuning how horses eat, how horses, the health, the physicality, also homeopathy, also this and that. Lots of foundational things that I really agree 100% with. She has great podcasts too. You would just like know all this stuff. Um, so I have to create, each one has a protocol. I have to create it at home. I have, tons of carrots and apples and blueberries. They eat better than me. The cucumbers and your flaxseed, I get. They love that. It's in my freezer. I think I need a little baby fridge that I need to buy for all this. I have all these herbs and, self-selection of herbs and concoctions, green clay. Oh,
Yeah.
I could just throw up on you. But basically, they let me do things my way, which is wonderful. So I clean the poop every single day. That's like there's not going to stand in poop. I hate that. But they still are very high in parasites. Right now, I'm doing deworming, and I tried different versions, and I'm on a third kind with medication. With Alicia's help, I know exactly how to leverage different things to get the best results and not be taxing on the horses. And so yesterday was day one of this. I showed them the medication. I tasted it first. I looked at what the dose was to get a sense. I mixed it with food. I walked them through it. I showed them. I explained to them. I asked them to eat it.
Hmm.
They watched me mix it with Timothy pellets that I pre-soaked at home, so I was ready. Beauty is very cautious, being a Mustang. If there's something iffy, even tiny little flavor, it didn't taste bad at all. The medication, I tasted it, of course.
Hmm.
So I will offer it, like, okay, taste it. She
Hmm.
tasted it, it's like, okay, I can deal with it. Okay, offered it, they ate it because they
Hmm.
knew. So I really, um, I really need horses to hear what I have to say and to agree. It's not
Yeah.
like they're hearing, they're getting our messages, they're getting our intention, getting our words, they know exactly what we're saying. They are partners, they're not just there on the receiving end. So it was wonderful. I was like, oh, I don't have to force it. I don't have to, train them. I
Yeah.
don't have to trick them. I don't trick the girls.
Yeah.
We're like, I like consent. We
Yeah.
talk about it. Horse speak lets you talk about it, change opinions. So after yesterday, I was like, okay, okay, that's fantastic. I can do this.
Yeah.
So, the only thing I cannot do is I cannot really do Paddock Paradise there yet, but I have stations, so they have to move. And we are on an incline, so it's a little hard for Sugar. She has compromised feet. So I'm gonna work on that. This is all like
So you're basically
learning.
you're a completely different person now.
I would just sit in dirt with Beauty and offer her a piece of carrot or grass. And I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know why I was there. I didn't analyze it. I just kept coming for no reason. I had no legal rights. Didn't have a plan. I didn't have an agenda. It was easy, fun, and very nourishing for me. And I think she helped me just as much as I did. And I remember, I'll never forget, angel cards, different decks. I had one angel card deck for horses, very spiritual one. And a friend of mine told me, why don't you? That was the first month of knowing her, I think, or second month. A great idea. Let her pick a card.
Yeah.
I tossed them, I put the cards out, and I asked her to pick. And this horse went and put her muzzle on one card.
I
Just
love
like
it.
that.
I love
I
it.
opened the card, and there's a woman standing in like Sahara Desert or something with a black horse.
Oh, yes.
And the message was, of course, like, oh, so these are goosebumps.
Yeah.
I I am riding on a ride of my life, and I don't even know where the end is. Like Sharon and Laura were the ones saying, maybe because I couldn't find a farrier, maybe you should be the one doing the hooves. Like, I can't even pick their hooves. What are you talking about? And today I was telling him, you see what you did. Now I am studying hoof pathology, and I am like understanding the frog, and I am understanding the lamina, and I am like, before I just ordered the tools.
What's changed in your physical body since you started caring for these horses?
I'm more stiff because I have more callus. My fingers are thick. Like I can barely put it in because I work with them, and I have those wheelbarrows, and in mud
Yeah.
on incline it's very hard.
Yeah.
I shovel, and so I'm like physically a little tired. Um, that's
But
physically
you
what's going.
must be, you must be
I have,
extremely, yeah, like much stronger than you
I
were
think
before.
so. Yeah, I think so. And the interesting thing is, I learned the best kind of boots. I learned the best kind of pants for the weather. I can bundle up in the rain for 5 hours and I am fine. And nobody's there because there's like crappy weather, like in
Yeah.
Pacific Northwest. And I'm then in the wind. We have a lot of wind there
Yeah.
because close to the water. And I'm gonna be there and bundled up. I know, the gloves, the kind of thing. I keep figuring out what is the best thing that I have to wear. Now I have the best pants that I bought for $20. So I have 4 pairs that I bought. This
Yeah.
like walking on air. They're perfect. Like and along the way I met amazing people that just showed me a little bit like showed me the way and encouraged me. And um including, oh, there's is a good story. Um the first day when Canada opened the border for unvaccinated Americans.
Hmm.
There is a woman who had a documentary, the herd in Canada. I don't
Mm.
know if you've heard of it.
Liz Mitten Ryan.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I accidentally stumbled upon this video online, connected with her, and it was just before COVID, and then I couldn't go. I really wanted to go. I thought I needed that experience for the
Mm.
horses. I read her books. I was waiting, and then that opening and it was October. She had one last retreat that October before winter,
Hmm.
which is a no-no, right? And that retreat, and I didn't have money, and it was like the last one, and this was the week where we would have to talk to the judge and have the finalized divorce.
Mm.
And I found that I had one credit card somewhere. So I looked for it. I found it. I called them, and it was like $100 more on there that I could use than the retreat. So I could use it for the retreat and gas. Hop in the car and went.
And did you get what you needed?
I don't know. It was very different. There were some complications, stuff like that. But it gave me a clarity for myself.
Mm.
And also, when I was on the island, when I mentioned the 4 horses, the lead mare, though those horses, amazing Della, she told Lynn that I needed my own herd, and I had no concept. And I had no idea what she meant at that point. That was before beauty.
Mm.
And but I started to see 3 horses, and then I started to see paintings of 3 sisters, like in the Native American culture.
Hmm.
I actually bought a painting by a Native American with 3 sisters,
Hmm.
3 figures with long hair and a feather. And so I have 3 horses.
Is the
No joke.
plan to eventually get your own place?
So I have a big dream to have sacred lands where they will be on track. Lots of fun stuff, enrichment, lots of horse speak. It's going to be, we speak horse speak on the like gate. We speak horse speak. It's going to be Sister's Ranch
Oh,
to
I
honor
love it.
Sister. And that's Sister, and that's a gift from Julie's sister and Max, another horse. Um, and I want to invite the girls once they settle down to come forward and do healing of the kind they want for people that I will invite for like a weekend retreat or a workshop where we will be breathing and manifesting and journaling and maybe walking meditations or sitting meditations, just and cooking and eating and things like that. And so I last spring, a year ago, I listed my house, did a lot
Hmm.
of work on it. Uh In September, I got a contract contingent on my selling near Spokane, beautiful, like retreat ready, like totally. And as soon as I signed that, my house became invisible.
Hmm.
Nothing, no calls, no showings, zero.
So Spokane, Washington, is that still rainy?
No, it's drier. It would be more closer to where beauty came from. It would be better for them for the hooves, definitely.
But for
Um,
you, I'm thinking for you with your mold sensitivity, have you looked at really dry places like
no, no, it
Arizona?
wouldn't. No, it's just water damage. It's just water damage. That's what it is. I'm fine.
Ah, okay.
Um, but I didn't have clarity where I needed to go. So my house is on the market now again,
Yeah.
as of like 2 weeks.
So wait, did you interpret that as the universe saying to you, not that property?
Not that property,
Right.
not that location.
Yeah, that's what I
Because
would have
since
thought.
then I realized there is a place in Western Washington where I need to go. It's very progressive. It's pretty flat. There's farmers, there's artists, it's quiet. The land is there, and I may be able to like maybe lease. And you are an inspiration. I had an aha moment.
Mhm.
The affordability is iffy where I am right now, but I could lease, which is
Yeah.
what you did for a number of years. I could lease. So I'll be talking to the farmers, I'll be talking to the locals, I'll make a trip there. I haven't even done that yet, like one thing at a time.
Hmm.
Um, so I just need to let go of this because this was my married life. This was a different, this is not the house. So I may have to rent something small closer to the horses so I don't have to commute every day
Hmm.
and sit on their little rental and then, wait for the right farm to lease or the right piece of land, maybe buy a tiny home. I have no idea. So
Hmm.
I like knowing how the universe works. I'm not ready to think about that yet. I know it'll show, like I'll know. So
Yeah,
I know.
the universe doesn't give us stuff in advance. We would love to have we would
No,
love to have the pathway and the, oh, this is the plan, but the universe is like
no, because
the
we're not
universe
ready
is
right
in the
now.
present. It's in the now. It's like
Yeah,
all we have is right now.
right. All we
And
have.
so that's where the whole trust piece comes in that, as long as you have your security and your guidance. And even if you, and here's the tricky thing about guidance, you may have a very strong feeling like, oh, I need to go here. And then you go there and it turns out to be a bit of a shit show. And you might think, oh, well, my guidance was
Wrong
wrong.
decision. Right.
No, it's
No,
not that your guidance was wrong. It's that you needed to go through that. There were
decision.
things. So again, whatever happens, you have to hold in your mind, life happens for me. Everything is for
Yeah.
my highest good. So if I'm
Yeah.
in a shit show right now, I need to lean in. What's here for me to learn? What skills do I need to develop? What part of my character needs to get bigger so that I can handle the better thing that's coming for me?
That
But
is
until
coming.
until
Yeah.
I develop, which this is going to give me the ability and the skill set to develop, I wouldn't be able to do that bigger, better thing.
Correct. And that's exactly where I am. Because since September, when it fell through, I had to take a journey with Beauty when she got sick. I had to take a journey with Alicia and with Sugar and her hoofs and her Cushings. We're
Hmm.
working on that. I had to take a journey, and now starting the journey with the hoofs. And and there is no way I was ready. So
Yeah.
right now, I remember your trailer video. I watched it way, way back. I don't even know how to trailer them yet. I don't even know how to trailer Beauty. The last time was when she was rescued. All these things, but I am like one step at a time,
Yeah.
one step at a time, because I will learn what I need to learn at a given time.
Yes.
And I just don't want to forget that way, way back at the very beginning, when I found your website, there was this first video that I watched of you that was like that, that this clarity was like a thunderstorm, like that is it. You were with summer, sunny day, lots of high bushes and trees. You couldn't see high grass, and you were calling your horses.
Hmm.
You were standing there with the camera calling your horses, thinking, who's gonna come?
Yeah.
And there's this little path and you can't see through, and then they come. It's like, who is this person? This is it. Like, this is it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like so many people, like, I have to go out and catch my horse. I've never caught a horse in my life, ever. It's
I don't
that
even
does
have
not exist
the
in
word
this
catching.
world. No. It's like, what are
What
you talking about? Catch my horse. No, it's because again, but that's even those words are a dominant controlling position, right? It's like we
Well,
go out.
we predatory. We
Yeah.
are absolutely predatory to them. Like, even if your belly button is on them, you're looking at them. We're predatory. We have eyes like that.
Yeah. And what people, need to understand about the way that people like you and I are with horses, everything is a conversation. It's a discussion. It's like, here's my idea. And here's why I think this would be a really good idea. And then the horses go, well, for me, my horses, I'm like 100% hit rate. They have the better idea. So like whatever I come up with and however, and they're like, yeah, no, here's how it's going to happen. And then I'm like, oh, that's a much better idea.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. I have to hone in on these skills. I feel like I am so in the physicality of mucking and cleaning and making sure they're okay, and that spiritual part connection. I think Beauty actually misses it, and sometimes she calls me,
Mm.
draws me out to stand with her and sit with her, because we used to do that. But I'm not in a position that much. I do everything alone. But so yeah, that is magical. And they often, what I'm learning is that they have a lot of grace. They have a way of saying, "Oh, you actually did a good job. Good learning, Kasia. Okay, you'll get there. Okay." That's where I am with them. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Um,
They
and
want you to build, they want you to build your toolkit and your medicine bag, and they want you to have all those skills. And then probably you're going to flip back into a lot of the energetic spiritual space when that
when we
whole
are,
physical piece is handled and settled and you've done the learning curve on that. And
yeah, yeah, and when they have that settled, because I feel like I'm untangling still things from the past that I don't know about them, and the I want them to have autonomy, and track will be perfect for them.
yeah.
They don't have as much autonomy where we are because it is what it is. So the things will start unfolding when we have a home.
Yeah. And that's the interesting thing about it is that if you're, the horses can, any animal can only function at the level of empowerment that they're allowed to
That we
have.
give them, yes.
Yeah. Because once they're in a domestic setting, we're in charge of all that stuff.
I have to be
So,
very careful with it. Yeah, you are so correct, because I have to step away and saying they are completely autonomous. They know who they are. They are powerful, beautiful, perfect creatures. Who am I to think they need help? They need help. I still have sometimes that, I don't know the past history and trauma, and I need to help them heal. Well, that's
but,
my
but
professional
even,
bias from my human profession. I help
even
people.
from the environment, like in terms of the walking track and the enrichment things, you can't provide that in the facility you're at. So their movements are they're not empowered in their movements. They are not empowered in how they move through their day. That's okay. It's a logistic. They understand that.
Yeah,
But when you get them to a place where they can embody that empowerment, you're everything's going to shift, and what they're able to then embody
yeah,
and the amount of your spiritual communication is going to go to the next level because you've facilitated empowerment and autonomy for them.
yeah, yeah. And all perfectly said. All I want them to have their own self-expression,
Hmm.
just the way they want. And I think, even being in Canada for 7 days and watching your videos, like, yep, this is like, that's the only way for me. I mean, people can do whatever they want, but I have those three amazing beings, and we're gonna be on a journey together. I can't believe it. The hoofs and all this. It's like, how is that gonna actually unfold? So, but I reached out to local community because I couldn't find a farrier that would be patient enough and not
Yeah.
busy. to spend some time with them because they like one would bite my butt. There was no, there was pain. Beauty is, like people
Yeah.
they'll like to be touched by people, and Jessie can be hysterical and very guarded and run in circles and get really anxious. So and then the woman in Facebook group locally said a couple of them encouraged me that they had similar struggles and they started to learn and they trimmed their own horses. Like, oh, maybe Sharon was right. And then one in particular reached out to me personally. It's like, you're in a bind. I'll help you. I've been trimming for 18 years. I'll help your horses. And now we have this beautiful friendship. And she was able to reframe it for Sugar and trim without halter, without biting. It was amazing. It was a journey.
Yes.
Amazing. And we were able to do it with Jessie. We had to put a halter, but that's huge. And now we want to work on Beauty because her hooves are too long. It's like it's been a long while
Yeah.
since my farrier moved, and
Have
so
you just popped into my head for Beauty? Have you tried trimming her hooves when she's lying down?
ha, 2 days ago, um, she gave me that idea. So she was sitting, and I sat with her, and I looked at her hooves. She knows I'm studying. She knows we're working with Christina because she would walk Jessie in circles. Christina would follow them like for hours to keep Jessie from spiraling.
Hmm.
When Christina was trying to talk to Jessie and eventually get consent to pick the hoof and trim it. It was amazing. So she knows what we're doing. She knows where I'm going
Hmm.
because I've been asking her for the hoofs. And so I'm sitting with her. Her hooves are all over, and I'm like salivating, looking at those hooves on the ground. I'm sitting. It's like I'm right there studying. So I'm looking at these. It's like, okay, let me walk and bring a pick.
Hmm.
So I'm sitting parallel with my feet like that. She's sitting here. She has not left.
Hmm.
She consented. Like, yeah, maybe she wanted me to try because that's like, she will walk away if she doesn't want something, like they do, right?
Hmm.
And so I started to pick and clean it, and I got really into it. And then she decided, I don't think it's a good idea. I'm going to stand. So I'm sitting there like that. She stood with her hind leg right next to me, did not walk away.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm with you. It was just not the right way. So
Yeah.
it was almost like, let's figure it out, but that not probably not a good idea.
So what stands out for me is you said I was getting really into it. And this is what I've learned.
Intensity.
That's right.
Intensity.
That's what I've learned is that as humans, we are so agenda driven. And I think this is where the like for my wildies and a horse like Beauty, that there's a shift in energy that happens. And as soon as we shift into that,
Exactly. Yeah.
it's over.
Too
We're
intense.
done.
Yeah. Mustangs are small horses, but she is acutely on a level that I've never seen anywhere. Any sound, anything different, acutely. So
Yeah.
my level of energy is always like, woo, too
So
intense.
so here's my tip for her. Here's my tip for her. She may want you to trim one piece on one hoof at a time.
I agree. That's not the end of the story.
Ah,
Because she's standing there, not walking away. If she doesn't want
yeah,
something, she tells me. So I massage her leg and sit there and I relax. Okay. So she's probably,
yeah.
now I'm thinking she's probably having me relax as I get out of that action.
Yeah.
It's too intense. I'm too intense. I used to scare her with my excitement.
Hmm.
Um, but then I had this idea. That's the telepathy. I didn't even think about it. That I should try pick her hooves today. And I think she invited me because she was right there waiting. And I'm a little clumsy, so we did counting, and she gave me 3 feet to pick. It was really, really sweet. And no drama, no like communication, talking. And then the fourth one's like, no, I think I'm done. So I baby steps, but she is observing. She knows what we're doing. She knows her feet are too long. So yeah, you
And
just reminding me what
I
I
want to
missed.
just jump in here with a comment on the whole hoof picking thing. That's such a, again, a human construct. Like out of, 10 or 11 horses for 9 years. I've only had to pick a hoof once because something was stuck in there. Once
Yeah,
in nine
they have
years.
they have terrain. They have
They
terrain.
don't need, and especially when you have a walking track, they don't need you to pick out their hooves. They don't need you to clean. And we have all kinds of rocks and
Yeah.
sharp things here. They will build up different types of soil and mud and whatever, and then they will knock it off and the whole thing will come out in a pack. Like they know how to take care of their own feet. They actually don't
Yeah,
need
yeah.
us.
Well, if they're like beauty, yeah, absolutely. Except we have mud, so they are in mud so long, and there's no different turf where I am.
Yeah.
And Sugar has Cushing, so there's
Yeah.
Sugar. You will never see her run because she is in pain. So, well, we'll change that. There's always hope. But I agree. I have to manage them because they grow too long and they start it's yeah, I have to do what I have to do, but I am very aware, especially for a horse like Beauty, that once on track and the track will be healthy.
Yeah.
um
And a water hole. Like if you have even just a little one that you make where they can get their feet in there, that helps them take care of their hooves as well. If
Water.
they've got something, yeah, water, and they will dislodge things from their hooves in the water, and you know,
Yeah, yeah, it'll come. We'll build it. I don't know how. I finally I have clarity where. At least I know where, because last year I couldn't really feel any place. I just couldn't.
I want to
So
go back to your vision of the horses with the orcas.
yeah,
Tell me more about that. What did you see and perceive?
it was almost like we had a pre-scheduled uh, meeting, like a radio transmission on some kind of frequency that would be available for different species with messages. And so the orcas were on their way and the horses were standing on the sand, like on the water edge, and we were all waiting, and it was just a matter of plugging into that radio and creating the transmission, like putting it on the radio and transmit it all across the globe. I have no idea, but yeah, because I was really interested in orcas when I moved there, and that's why I moved to the island. I
Hmm.
thought, until I met Sugar, and not Sugar, Sister.
Yeah.
Until I met Sister.
It's so interesting to me because you're only the first person I've heard who's seen something similar to the vision that I had. I don't even know how many years ago now. Eight,
What what
eight,
what
nine
was
years ago.
what is your vision?
So the vision is there's horse, elephant, dolphin, and whale in a circle. And it's a singing circle. And so horses sing, but not in this dimension.
Mm,
And for
wisdom.
elephants, yeah, elephants and whales, a lot of the frequencies, the sound frequencies that they create are outside the range of human hearing.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean they're not present and happening.
Yeah.
And so the vision that I saw was very similar to what you described. So the circle of horse, elephant, dolphin, whale is like the container. It's the crux. And we have to create this for Mother Earth because Mother Earth is in a precarious position right now and she needs our help. And so if we can bring together these creatures in physical proximity, this is not just a space. It's not like, oh, I could create a meditation space and call in all the creatures and we could say, no, this is third dimension. We are on this planet. This has to happen physically as well as vibrationally and at the
Mhm.
frequency level.
Mhm.
So that's my thing of I have to find this property where the elephants and the horses can be oceanfront and the whales and the dolphins can swim up. So there's that physical and they will, and I saw that, oh, because water is crystalline and then sand and rock is crystalline. And so it's like, a crystalline communication matrix. Zzz, it just goes. And then the
Interesting.
elephants will receive the vibrations from the whales and the dolphins through their feet. I saw their feet like little amplifying receiving stations. And so that, and then the sound goes out, which of course, and then, so and then it's, as it's developed as this last 4 months, as I've been traveling around looking for this property, I realized that the elephant, horse, dolphin, whale is the core. But then once that is set, and once we have that space, we can then call in every single creature on the planet, because the insects are like, do you know how many of us there are? And I had an encounter with ladybug once. I picked up this ladybug, and then she'd been on my counter and gotten a bit of oil, some diluted wild oregano. I was like, oh, that's not good. So I'm not thinking, again, human agenda. I just put her under the tap to wash her off. Bad machine. She did not want that. She zapped me with like a power electric shock so hard through my hand that I went, and it was all I could not to like fling her off. And she said, but the purpose of it was, she said to me, you feel how much energy I can generate? Like, it was a significant amount of energy from this tiny creature. And she said, do you know how many millions and billions of us there are? But no one's ever asked us to help. And I was like, right? And they're waiting to help. Everybody wants to help Gaia. No one is. And then what I've learned about trauma and the land from, mostly Kalia started this off when she told us to go sing to the land, is that with the trauma that humans put into the earth, though, whether they're massacres or clear cutting of forests, like they're all trauma.
There's all trauma.
They're like abscesses. They're like tumors in Gaia's flesh.
I always wonder about this. I always, even in the place where the horses are, I always wonder about what went through this. Yeah.
So, and then you'd be like, but the earth is so powerful. No, because humans put it there. Humans have to remove it. It's just like, it's like yin and yang. So I was like, oh, okay. So that's why I started, not just singing to the land, but doing ho'oponopono for the land and things like that. So through this frequency singing thing, and then we call in all of the insects, we call in all of the microbes in the soil. There's more microbes in 1 teaspoon of soil than there are species on the planet. Like, we have huge numbers of beings who are waiting to assist. So it's like, you have to create this space where these keystones, like this is the hookup here. Get this in place, and then everything else you invite in, they all join in. Like you said, I love the way you phrase that about, it's like there's a radio frequency that once I plugged it, that's what it'll be like. And
that's what it sounded like. Yeah, I feel like way ahead. I don't analyze it. I just saw it. And so I'm just taking one step at a time. But I think where I want to move, it's an island. And because I lived on an island for 2 years, I understand the challenges. I understand what it takes.
Yeah.
And yes, it will be right for me. And so orcas can come there. I don't know if elephants live on that island.
But so, water is the best conductor there is, right? So the thing is that once, like, I feel we just need one property where the elephants and whales can physically be together, and then that can go out through the water. So, and again, like, everything is just step by step. But maybe what happens is when I get this set up and you're in your place, and then we go, okay, I'm being led to say tomorrow at whatever time, can you hold space? And then all of a sudden your ranch links with whatever we're doing on the thing, and then someone else's ranch, and like, who knows what the next steps are.
Who knows what the next steps? Yeah.
All we have right now is the vision. And so that's very excellent for me that you have seen a similar thing, because you're the only person I've talked to who's seen anything like that.
That's crazy. Yeah. So, I put it aside because I feel like I'm not ready, but I think it's, something will come out of it. And, interesting about water. Think about it this way. I've never thought about it this way until I heard a Native American say it. The water we're looking at is the same water that dinosaurs drank from. It's a closed system. It's the same water that has been there forever. How much that water, how much wisdom it has. Water has consciousness. We know that now. Water has memory. Water can respond. It's a so that water as a carrier,
Yeah.
clouds, rain, water, streams, all that is recycling coming back. So the possibilities of communication.
Yeah. I mean, we're just
Think about
scratching
it.
the surface. Have you
Yeah.
seen the work of Veda Austin in Australia?
I think so.
So
She took a
she,
lot of photos of the water. Yes, yes, yes. It was very,
yes.
yes. That's what
So
I'm talking
she
about.
would
Yes.
do things like she would have her little petri dish of water and put a drawing on top of a bird and freeze it and
Yep.
then remove and then when it was frozen, look at it, and the image of the bird was
Yep.
in the water. Now
Yes. Yep. Yep.
the
Yep.
paper wasn't touching the water. It was just placed on top of the container that the water was in. So her experiments with water are showing like
Yes.
we are just scratching the
Scratching.
surface
Yes.
of
Yes.
who and what water is.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing to me is that the whales swim the ley lines in the water and the elephants walk the ley lines on the earth. So I think that's another reason that those two species have to be involved.
It's really interesting because I've been thinking about elephants, whales, and horses in the concept of these are the three species that has the biggest chamber and heart and resonance and frequency field where you can sync your heart rate with them. These are the species, and
Yes.
dolphins are smaller, but they're very healing too. So I always keep it in mind, and you're bringing the same species, so it's pretty remarkable. I don't know. I am just at awe that we connected and somehow, and thank you for all your support and emails. And I don't even know how it happened, honestly. But I'm really grateful because it's unfolding. I have goosebumps again and again, and learning from this a lot as you speak, like a lot of things that I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, the
Mm,
hoof thing is so interesting. We actually filmed for over 2 years. Kasia, who is a certified barefoot trimmer, working with the herd, and we thought we were going to be filming how wild horses will, of their own free will, allow their hooves to be trimmed. And that's not what happened at all. What happened, Montaro kicked me out of the barn, so it was just Kasia and the cameraman, and he taught her a way to trim hooves where he doesn't have to lift up his feet. So he taught her a whole new way of trimming, and we were like, this is something we had never considered. And he's like, we don't have to give you our feet. We don't have to stand there balancing for however long and then turn over this complete control to you. And so the whole concept, and I would love to turn that into a documentary, but of course that would take hundreds of hours, and I don't have the time. I don't
yeah,
know
yeah,
when I
yeah,
will, but I would
yeah.
love to. I have all the footage, it's
Oh
saved.
my gosh.
But so right now, what happened is since Montaro had that initial wounding because of emotional trauma, where he took on someone else's stuff to try and help them heal, which again, which is why I've done a whole bunch of podcasts on therapy horses and going, this whole structure is wrong.
Yeah.
The horses should not be taking on human stuff to help them heal. They can hold the energetic container.
I
They can,
agree
but
100. Yeah,
keep
100%.
their shit out of your physical body because you will just end up sick and wounded and burnt out. Anyway, aside, you're tracking with me on that, I see. So
Yeah.
we don't have to go
Yeah.
there. But anyway, every spring now, when we get the high sugar spring grasses come in, Montaro's feet get inflamed. And then when his feet are inflamed, he can't trim his own hooves. And then I notice because he starts lying down a lot. So I pulled him into the sheep arena by the house and I got him low sugar hay, pulled him off the pasture. And then I was like, how are we going to cut your hooves? Because they're so hard. I can't cut them. And I bought new nippers thinking they were my nippers. No, it's not. It's that his hooves are like literal rocks. So I had a ranch hand who was here helping, and I said to him, hey, have you had anything to do with horses? He goes, well, I've ridden a bit and I used to help my sister with her horses. Like, perfect. you know, a little bit, but not too much that I'm going to have to undo everything you know. I go, so, and he was a lot stronger than me. So we went and got my reciprocating saw. And because I can't, again, like for me to do Montaro's hooves with this saw, I'm not quite strong enough, but this guy's very strong.
Oh, wow.
So we would just every morning go out there and, you know, he start by just gunning it. Montaro, you okay with the sound? Yeah, Montaro's totally fine. And so every day he would just saw off just a few pieces. And because Montaro was not haltered and this guy was not a horse person, he had no preconceptions. He's like, yeah, he's pretty clear when he wants me to stop and go away. He has no problems because he doesn't have the brainwashing framework that horse people and stables and people who've had lessons go through. He's just a normal guy going, I don't want to get bitten. He's sending me pretty strong signals that we're done for today. And so that's how we trimmed his hooves.
Yeah.
And then he was like, okay, I'm done. Let me out of here.
Yeah.
He's not 100% better and his hooves are not 100% trimmed, but I'm like, okay, well, you go out there. You're asking to go out. I honor your wisdom. It's your body. So I'll keep an eye on him. If he can't trim them up and he needs me to pull him back in, we'll do that. And so we go on.
Because you're listening. And I think the big message is that horses are not being seen. Like what Horse Speak taught me is showing that I'm actually seeing and making the intention. I see you. I see you. I'm actually looking not through you, not at you, but into you, connecting. And so you have that connection. You see them, so they know that I can talk to you.
Yeah.
And you know, the interesting thing is that Sugar let me clean one hoof without me lifting it. That's all she could do.
Did
And
she
I'm
just
on my knees on the ground, cleaning my nose by the ground. She just, you know, she just cocked it.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you can do this because she's in pain. And
there you go.
Yeah, so
I love it.
you don't think about it, but that was her choice and offer and invitation, and that's where she was.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what I love about, I bought Sharon Wilsey's book. I guess it would have been her first book, Horse Speak. And what's really cool about that is she's taken, you know, hours and years of watching and distilled it down for people to get a grasp on the body language. And I would say it's not just of horses, it's of animals. Because
she's writing a book on dogs right now. Same thing.
Yeah. Animals, dogs, sheep, chickens.
I used it on deer. I used it on geese.com.
Yes.
It's you know, the video analysis and what when you talk to her live and learn for her is the book is like scratching the surface. The books, there's 3. The real thing is it's mind-boggling. It's just amazing what horses say, how precise they are in what they say, when they kick, when they touch. Every little muscle twitch has a message.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious what they say. We keep telling her, do a cartoon, do a voiceover of a video of the horses talking because she's incredible. She also uses telepathy and other modalities to just really be present. She's like she's from a different realm altogether.
Well, and that's the thing. Like people are like, one of the questions I got asked is, well, if you have telepathic communication with your horses, why do you need any other form of communication? I was like, that's just so limiting. You know, okay, well, you can talk to somebody. So why would you write to them? Why would you send them a voice recording? Why a voice message? Why would you, you know, why don't we use all the methods of communication open to us simultaneously? Because then we can have the clearest communication possible. And we can also have confirmation of, you know.
Yeah. Telepathy is tricky. Like for me, I sometimes need confirmation.
Yeah.
So because I think we second guess. Like some of the stories I told you about Beauty and the picking hooves when she was sitting. It didn't dawn on me until this conversation that it was her idea. Why did I stand up and go and pick it? And she was still there, waiting. And she gave it a go, and you know, all this like, oh man, it is telepathy. It is so subtle.
It is. And that's why if you're receiving telepathic messages for anything that's, you know, really important, I always ask for physical confirmation of what I think the horse is saying. I'm like, okay, I think you're saying this. And I'll say to them, go over and touch the arena panel or stomp your hoof, or like I'll ask for specific physical confirmation. And of course, they're not going to do it instantly because horse time. So give them some time, give them a few minutes, watch, and then let them respond to you in a physical way. And if they don't, say, okay, so I'm off track there. Let's go back in. Let's get some more clarity. Because I agree. I think it's super, like you said, it's so subtle, and our own stuff can get in the way so easily.
I totally missed it until we talked. Yeah. And I know I missed a lot because when the value of doing a video and watching it 5-10 times, you pick up all those nuances that you missed. Yeah. That's like there's so much that I miss every day when they speak. I know it. Yeah. If I put it on the video, I would see clearly that they gave me a sign, but I didn't see it. I didn't register it.
Well, and also we're not really predisposed to see the answers that we don't like.
So register them, yeah.
When I pulled Montaro in for his feet, then I was like, well, so who else is coming in here with Montaro? Because I never would keep a horse by themselves in an enclosure. And so Cobra was there, and I was like, Cobra, your sheath is swollen again, just like it was last year in the spring. Why don't you come in here? Because I'm going to have the vet out to look at Montaro's teeth. She can, and clean his sheath. She can clean because I knew Montaro's sheath needed cleaning, and I knew it would take me too long and I would piss him off. So I was like, I'm just going to have the vet come. And I said to Cobra, come on. So Cobra came on in, but then I talked to the vet and she said, well, I'm okay to work with wild horses because I did have a wild horse before that I've trained. She said, but only if he's haltered. I was like, oh no. Oh. So I was like, Cobra, this is what has to happen. And Cobra was like, nope. And so I was like, well, you're in here anyway. Let's just, so Cobra out free on 160 acres asks me now to scratch his neck, his chest, his belly, his sheath. He asked me to scratch his sheath. I put him in an enclosed arena space, about a 1/4 acre. He is so mad at me for locking him in. He is not letting me touch him. Mm-hmm. And so I keep going, yes, but Cobra, this is the way we have to do it in the human world. And you have to start letting me come near you. And so let's do some tapping on your trauma. Like, I'm so agenda driven with him, right? And then it got to the point where he actually lifted his hoof at me like this. And I was like, okay, this is a hell no. Stop it and let me the F out of here. So I was finally like, okay, because you know what? Where do we draw the line with autonomy? If Cobra says, I don't care that my sheath is swollen to 3 times its normal size, I don't want help. I don't want you to make it bigger. I'm like, what if you die from that? He goes, that's my choice too. And this is the problem, like, especially like with wild, because I have wild sheep here too. And so I'm really coming face to face with our human unwillingness to allow suffering or death. Like, we just think that we have so many judgments on suffering and death that override this thing, but it's the animal's choice. If Cobra wants to suffer with that swollen sheath, or if he wants to die from that sheath, is it or is it not his body? Is it or is it not his choice? And I go, well, I do things that make my body suffer because I'm not willing to give them up. Right? That, and I don't have a problem. Like, I'm
autonomy. Yeah.
Right. Someone who smokes, they're not giving up their cigarettes. You're going to die from that. I don't care. That's my choice.
Yeah. No, they do live in their body. We live in our head. We are very disconnected from the body, but horses live 100% in every inch of their body. 100%. Yeah. That's who they are. That's what they do.
And they're not distracted by all the stuff that, no, frankly, we have to do to survive in this world. Like, we have to earn money. We have to go grocery shopping or even if we're growing our own food, we need, like, I have to kill some sheep in a couple of weeks. And I really am not happy about that. I didn't want to do it, but my castrations failed. And so unless I want 50 sheep heading into winter, I've got to dispatch some sheep. So it's like,
Oh, that's hard. I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
mean, the challenges just are like, and then you go, how do I do this in a way that's, congruent and, and I can't say to the sheep herd to be okay with me killing because they're not going to be okay. They're mad at me and I've broken their trust and I don't have another option because I'm not willing to hay feed 50 sheep. Just can't do it. So,
Can you do like oral contraceptives?
no, because they're wild sheep. I can't make them do anything. I can't even get near them.
Mm.
And there's sheep that lived for 5 years with no human intervention, no dog protection. Like they, they're like, we don't need you. And I'm like, you're right. You don't need me. It's me who doesn't like looking at having you guys starve in the winter or get really thin because I don't have enough hay for like again, it's this what I'm dealing with right now is this such a tension between when we bring animals into a domestic setting, but
Yeah,
we want to allow them to still be wild and autonomous.
yeah,
And that's just a hard
yeah,
situation.
yeah.
And that's why I don't video a lot of what's going on around here because the judgment and the misunderstanding from other people is so high that there's no point. Some things you just don't share. I could write about them, but I'm not going to put them out on YouTube.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I had a little bit of heart palpitations talking to you because these are when I came into the world of horses, I didn't realize the industry, um the opinions, the harshness,
Mm,
all that. Like I am not part of any of that, but the judgment and the criticisms that might happen just based on a conversation like that.
yeah, it's
Um,
pretty severe.
yeah, I can only imagine because you're vulnerable with your information online. So I want to thank you for that
So
because
I want to
it's
I want
life
to
changing.
close. You're welcome. I want to close, Kasia. If you could say anything to those who have a dream, because I get quite a few emails from people saying, I would love to have horse, often older women, they're in their 40s or 50s.
Yeah,
They've done with the kids, they've done, now it's like me time.
yeah,
And when you focus into what do I want, what's my heart, what's my dream,
yeah.
it's having their own horses or having a sanctuary or a place. What what would you like to say to those women?
I have to write a book about this. I know that I have to write a book about this exactly for that reason. I had no idea. I'm not the only one. I would say please follow. Please just do one step and don't analyze it and just see what the heart says. Maybe there is a sanctuary in the area. Maybe something will open up, something will pop in just because you're sending that message and you're being open. I want to receive the next step in my horse journey, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Because who knows, maybe somebody will end up moving to like a wild Mustang sanctuary where I don't know, or you never know. I don't know where it's going to take me. And now we're talking about elephants and orcas. Like, who knew? Where's that going to take us?
I don't
What
know,
is
but it,
that?
it, it scares the
That's so,
bejesus out of me. That's all I can say.
which means that that's the path.
I know.
And I'm a little anxious here, which means that that's the path. We only grow when we get out of the comfort level, when this is the unknown, and this is like really the unknown. I mean, this is really the unknown for me, horses. It really is. And sometimes I think, what the heck am I thinking?
Have you been
Yeah.
able to, on paper, afford what you're doing with horses, or is that a piece of trust as well, that the money will come?
Uh, that's been a tough one because my business is paying for it, and I had to invest a lot in education and stuff, and it is big expense. I'm tracking it. Um, and the last 6 months, because of the politics, financially, my business has been hit. So
Yeah.
we're working through it. I would love to have those retreats to kind of give people like me an opportunity to just be with horses without any agenda. And I will be careful so that my horses are not taking on stuff. That it is, I'll teach people how to breathe and how to be present and all that.
And just
So
don't close the gate. Like wherever you hold those, have it be open so the horses want to leave, they can leave.
The horses will decide totally. Yeah.
Because that's also really important for humans to understand, because we think, oh, the horse needs to be right here. The horse does not need to be
No,
right here.
we meet when they come if they want to come.
The
If
horse
they
could
want to
be a
come,
mile away from you and working with you.
correct.
And for the people, and it's interesting because the people who need that lesson, the horses won't come anywhere near them because they want the human to understand. We don't listen, you talk the talk, but now you got to walk the walk. Now connect with us, feel us, communicate with us, even though you cannot see us. This is your challenge, for that kind of person. And that will happen. And then also, different people have different size energy fields. So for some people, the horses are going to come in close. And for other people, the horses are going to be 30 feet away. They're still working with that person's energy field. It's just that their field is so much bigger.
Yeah.
So, all of those things. But you know what, really, I got a ding when you said about nutrition and teaching people how to prepare food and having that be part of the experience. I got a huge yes on that. And I saw this experience of, oh, you come out to your farm, your ranch, your sanctuary, and you do the meditation in the within the container of the horses, and then you go nourish yourself and you learn how to make those foods. And so in each time you go, you learn how to make something. So you expand your repertoire of foods, because we can't energetically go to the next level if our bodies are not properly nourished.
Yeah, we have to have different levels, not just spiritual. Sometimes the people that are very spiritual, they don't really take care of that physical.
Well, and it means that they can't embody the higher frequencies. Like if you're missing key minerals and amino acids, you actually cannot access some of the frequencies that are available.
Interesting.
So yeah, I mean, that's my work in the health supplement world, where I have the atom-sized minerals that don't require digestion. They're just boom into the cell channels. And then I have this supplement called Multi-Absorb. It has 43 different nutrients, and it's everything from amino acids to, micronutrients to, and then, it's like, well, get on those and see how you feel. See the difference.
I think I looked at those. I also use a supplement line that is isotonic, so it mimics the bodily fluids.
Yes,
So
exactly.
so
My minerals are all ionic. So
ionic.
that's a whole other topic.
Yeah, because you have that background too with the gut. This is fabulous, which is
Yeah. But I really see that for you, Kasia. I see this place of that whole holistic healing thing. So the horses and the meditation and the connection is a big part of it, and the horse speak, the body language. So because when you make people become aware of their body language, that brings them more fully into their body, because most humans are walking around partially dissociated. If not fully dissociated. Yeah, exactly. And then the delicious food. Because food makes things fun. It makes things exciting. It makes things so pleasurable. Like, let's bring the pleasure and fun back into life.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, I used to run workshops like that way back. So it'll be nice to go back to it. And, thank you for the encouragement. Thank you for the invitation. This is
so important point.
Yes.
As you are visioning your new space, what do you call it? Do you call it your sanctuary, your ranch, your farm? What do you call it?
I think for now it's Sister's Ranch, because it rolls well.
All right. So you're visioning Sister's Ranch. I want you to get out a little sketchbook art thing. I want you to free draw and just make notes all over it for every single thing that would be cool and fun to have on that ranch. So we're not talking about what you need. We're not talking about the minimum. We're not talking about what you can afford. We're talking about every single thing. So like if you go, I would like a kitchen. No, I would like a chef's kitchen. I would like a chef's kitchen with an island big enough to seat 15 people, where we can come in and do the cooking space. And I would like it to be right next to the horse pasture. Like, I mean, get as specific as you can. And I'll tell you why. I mean, you've heard this. I heard it too. But when I made my list for this ranch, I just put down the stuff that I had to have. And I was like, well, everything else I can flex on. If I need this, I can build it. If I need the bad, wrong idea. Because guess what? Everything on my list I got. and all
And
those
then you
things.
have to build.
And then I'm like, oh, the logistics and the added expense. And it's way easier to pay for that stuff rolled into a mortgage than it is to pay for them with cash separately. So
Good to know, because I was thinking, just give me a piece of land, I'll build. But that's like,
no,
oh,
don't
yeah,
do it. Do
don't.
not do it. You know what? And if that's your next step, that'll come anyway. So
Mhm.
it's like you're saying when you make that really specific list, because let me tell you, that's what I'm doing for the elephant sanctuary right now. I am, and it's taking me weeks to come up with that list because I'm not rushing it. And I'm like, every time I think of something, I go and I put it on that list because I have the list that I did for the ranch. It's in my art journal. And I looked at that and I was like, every single thing that I asked for is here.
Yeah.
Why did I not ask for more? The
Okay.
universe is
This way.
infinitely abundant. I didn't ask for it.
Thank you for the message. Message taken. I have a list, but I will make the list not like I've been making it, but I'll make it like you suggest, because I was going for the yes. I just need this. Forget about anything else. I can figure it out. I just need this piece of land and this. So
Yeah,
I'll do better. I'll
yeah.
I'll be rewriting it and
And
sketching. Thank you.
and for the women that you spoke to who are dreaming at this point, like part of that dreaming and visioning that brings it into the physical plane is making lists like this.
Yeah.
Drawing your ranch structure. Like, how would you like things situated on your ranch? Like, do some little drawings. Paddocks here, horses are here, walking track is here. Like, start seeing it and visioning it. And it doesn't mean that it's going to look like that, but
But
you'll
it
see when you get it.
opens the, yeah. I haven't done that though. I'm blocked. For some reason I can't visualize that yet. What is where. I can't do it yet. I will
So
work
I
on it.
just got a picture of you sitting with the horses. That's when you do it. And you ask them, what do you want? Where is everything? How big is it? Like you ask them. They're the ones who have that plan, not you.
I have asked them, but not this way. I like this way better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take your sketchbook and go sit with them.
I do have a sketchbook because I started to draw beauty way back. It's in the garage.
Yeah.
There's a little sketchbook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
open to maybe doing multiple sketches because maybe the different horses have different ideas, or you start down one idea and you're like, okay, that won't work because of this. Okay, start again. How else can we? And just, it's so much fun if we just take the time to do things that way. And our manifesting doesn't have to be so serious and heavy.
I
It
have to
can
take the
be,
time. Yeah.
yeah,
I have to go there earlier, a little bit earlier. So I have a little bit downtime
yeah.
time with them. Mhm.
And usually I remember like when I was in an environment like yours, I would get my chores done first because not only did that clear it, but being in the heart field, in the energetic field of the horses, resets my nervous system, recalibrates me, drops me into greater connection. Then at the end is when I meditate, when I journal, when I sketch with them.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Chores first. Yeah. I
Yeah.
like
And then
that.
sometimes what would happen with them is, if we would do something really intense at the spiritual and energetic plane, the horses would say to me, okay, go shovel some more manure because the physical work moves those frequencies through the body and out. And this is something that, I remember reading autobiography of a yogi, and he talked about, the Indian yogis who are spending, 7, 8 hours, 10 hours a day in meditation. They must move their bodies because if you're bringing frequencies of that intensity through the physical third dimension body, you have to then move and let the body flush them, let them work them, or otherwise they will cause dis-ease and have a negative effect on your physical body. So it's so interesting to me that the horses would know this. And if somebody else came to the ranch, they would say, now tell them to go shovel manure. Now we've done the energetic work back in the physical body, move all these frequencies through, cleanse and reground the body.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't get these kind of messages yet. This is amazing. Getting this feedback from the horses. I think they're speaking just like you with the story with Beauty and the Hooves.
Yeah.
I missed all these messages from her until we talked today. They're talking, I'm missing this. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, you're in the picture, you're in the frame, you don't really see. So
Yeah.
it's nice to recognize that there's more going on there. It's more feedback from them. They're more present. They're more asking and speaking than I'm picking up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, horse speak 101 or conversations 101. I'm still a baby. And they're waiting for me to grow. It's like, okay, she's picking up more.
And compared to them, we're always going to be a baby. Like I'm an idiot so much of the time. Like I just like, ooh, totally missed that one. Ooh, and
Yeah.
then they
Okay.
they
That
get they
makes me
get
feel
really
better.
stern with me. And they like, like when Montaro and Cobra were in the pen, they were like, and the other horses then were around and they were meditating. I was like, what are you guys doing? What do you, I'm like, oh, because I'm an idiot, because I haven't been listening. And I finally sat down and I did the medicine cards, the oracle cards with them. And I actually
You
filmed it.
did.
Yeah, I actually filmed it because I was like, oh yeah, I should film this to show people how I work with the cards with the horses. And that's when they finally got the message through to me that I was like, oh my gosh, I've been back here a month. I have not gone to any of my meditation spots on the land and like spent a good amount of time. Like I've been meditating, maybe 15 minutes at a time, 20 minutes, I'll drop in, but I haven't done that on my meditations. And the horses are like, what are you doing? You can't not do this. Not at this point, not with trying to make this elephant sanctuary. Like this is going to take me hugely to another level, which the horses are supporting me.
Yeah.
But I'm the linchpin. And when I'm here for a month and all I'm doing is logistics of fencing and all the
All
urgent
that. Yeah,
stuff,
exactly. All that logistics.
all the urgent stuff that needs to be done for the physical well-being, and I got to get the winter tires switched to summer. Like these are all, nothing is not important. And that's all my energy and time is. And then I was like, I'm such an idiot. Okay, you're right. And so after I received that, the very next day, I went out and I went to a meditation spot and I was like, oh, I'm such a moron. So don't worry, Kasia, it never stops.
Okay. Feel better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always, you were always like, man, I'm a babe. I'm a babe compared to these guys.
Amazing. But there's so many women like us thinking about it maybe on different stages, but I feel like I had no idea it was just me. And then I saw your story and all the data you created, all the videos. And then I see that I think there's especially now that it's not like a movement, but there is an opening and women are
Yes.
hearing that call.
Yes.
And horses are waiting and horses are asking, inviting. So I think there's a lot of women in my shoes somewhere out there, and this is why I try to journal so I don't forget things. And I need to write sister's story, and I need to write a book.
Mm-hmm.
People need to know that something is happening to us,
Yes.
women in particular,
And
middle-aged women in
and
particular.
let's not forget that there's 50,000 Mustangs rotting in tiny little pens right now.
I
And
can't
nobody
even.
wants, everyone's afraid of the wild horses. Well, and I hope your story is there to highlight if you are someone with no horse experience and you have
None.
no, you are the best person to take a wild Mustang because you will actually listen and let the Mustang be in charge.
Yes.
And it will be this incredibly expansive, um, huge transformational journey.
Yes, I don't know. Maybe there's something to it. I keep thinking of Mustangs, but I can't watch the documentaries, movies. It's too hard for me. I can only focus on Beauty now to get her to a place where she can run. That's
Yes.
I just want to have her run on
Yeah.
a track, run. Um, but who knows? There may be something that I need to do for other Mustangs. I don't know yet. I don't know
Yeah.
yet.
Or not. Like maybe this is your space, like to hold those workshops that you're talking about and to write that book.
To
Because
write that book.
a book can reach tens and thousands of people who, let's say like 5,000 of those go out and get a Mustang. Well, that's 10%. That's a
Yeah.
huge number of Mustangs rescued and put into better lives and put onto, a more intimate journey of helping us
Yeah.
humans evolve.
Yeah, I attended a holistic horse conference a few months ago, and there was a woman who he's responsible for different documentaries and just to educate people on Mustangs and all that good stuff. And for some reason, I emailed her, and she got on a call with me because
Mm,
of beauty, and she encouraged me to create a Facebook and call it with beauty, Beauty the Mustang or something like that, to start recording. I'm a pretty private person, and it's a lot to take because I always think about sister. The story starts with sister.
hmm.
So I'm conflicted. I don't know, but I think for me, the book. Uh,
Yeah, you have your way, and that's
mm,
your medium. So
yeah,
I
I think
would
it's
echo
good.
that. Don't force yourself to do something that feels uncomfortable or difficult.
It would be
That's
too
not
much work.
that's
Yeah.
not go with what feels light and where you feel
Yeah.
the flow.
Yeah. Thank you for that. But the book the book needs to be about both sister and beauty. I'll figure out.
Yeah,
I had the concept of it. It was always about sister, and now I was like, what's on the cover? It'll come. It'll come.
exactly.
Come.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Kasia. This has been an absolutely wonderful
My gosh.
conversation.
Thank you so much. I am totally I'm still pinching myself. I don't know how this happened, but thank you. So much wisdom, and you got me spinning now and thinking, so good.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Thank you for
excited
the
to see.
inspiration. Thank you for the inspiration.
You're welcome. Thank you.